to the show, and I'm in the studio with Keith English from Keith English and Associates Real Estate. How are you, Keith?
I'm fantastic, mate.
Right, I wanted to get you in because there's, as I said, the property market seems to go all over the place. We're in WA, in Western Australia, and but one thing that I've always been taught is the consistency of the actual agents. No matter what the market's doing, a really good agent can still help you achieve what you want to achieve by understanding it.
Yeah, and good agents can work in markets that are going up or sideways or downwards. So, and there's different tactics that we use depending on the type of market that we're in. Some people say we're in a tougher market. I don't know. I just think, normality I don't know what normal is anymore in the world, but it just seems to go up and down. But in a market that's perhaps not booming, let's say, we've had a mining boom over the last few years here and properties just walked out the door, agents saying I can't get enough stock of houses, but now we've kind of gone back to some kind of normality. Is it now more important for people to know how to prepare their homes, how to present them? What goes on here? Yeah, preparing your house is very important, and sort of there's preparing and there's presenting, which I'll probably talk about more. Preparing your house for sale.
Yeah.
And these are sort of some of the more major items. And some people renovate their house just before they go onto the market. I personally have a problem with that because it's like improving your house and not getting the benefit of living in it, and just to sell it so someone else can have the benefit of living in a nicer home. But you've got to be very careful because a lot of people spend money and they don't get a return for it. So, I knew someone who spent $70,000 landscaping the front area of their house to put it on the market, and they probably could have got away with $2,000 or $3,000 tidy up.
Wow!
So it wasn't necessary. It's the same as redoing the kitchen to sell the house.
Yes.
You could spend $40,000 renovating your kitchen, and is it going to get you $40,000 more?
And I suppose the thing, especially with kitchens, is that you don't actually know you're renovating it to the other person's taste.
Yeah.
And you made me laugh with the gardens because I spent a long time in my garden and pruned everything and got all these lovely plants, and the buyer didn't like gardens.
Absolutely.
And took it all out.
I knew someone who spent $20,000 renovating their swimming pool. The buyer bought it and filled the pool in. So it's...
We could have got a 50-50 on that deal. I'll take 10. I won't do the pool and I'll take 10 grand off the house.
Absolutely.
I did see someone, I think it was in the eastern states, and the kitchen was a shocker. And in their own words, and they said, but if I renovate it, I don't know what you're going to like. So they went, look, I got a quote from a builder. That's the price to renovate, and these are the stone bench tops and all the bits and pieces. I'm happy to go you 50-50. You're going to get the benefit, but I'll go you 50-50 on the cost, and I'll take that off, and there's your new kitchen. And they sold the house, and the new buyer went, I'm glad you did that, because they moved a couple of walls as well.
Yeah, and it's all about, facilitating the sale. So, but a lot of people, like I know... one agent, and we used to sell a lot in these apartment blocks. They weren't very old. Half the units were built with cream-coloured carpet, half were built with blue-coloured carpet.
Right.
She would make every single owner replace the blue carpet with cream-coloured carpet. It would cost about $5,000. And I got approached by one of the owners and saying, well, this is what my agent's asking me to do. And I said, well, what's wrong with blue carpet? We listed the property and we actually sold it at a higher price than what the other agent had appraised it at. But it wasn't the problem with the unit, it was a problem with the agent.
Right.
Because the agent didn't like blue carpet.
Okay.
So she had a block and couldn't sell a property with
blue carpet.
Okay. So it's if your agent's asking you to do things that don't seem quite right, get a second or third or fourth opinion, because apartments do sell with blue carpet.
So preparing your home for sale and getting it ready, what are some of the things that people can do that do actually have an impact for buyers?
And you look at doing it, if something's broken, fix it or replace it.
Carpets are an interesting one because you might replace it with something that the new buyer doesn't want. But if it's obviously worn out and detracting from your property, then I suggest that we maybe look at replacing it.
Yeah.
If one room is more heavily worn than other rooms, then try and replace that with a matching carpet as well.
Yeah.
Fresh paint is good, or at least clean.
Yeah.
Tidy up your gardens, make sure the lawns are mowed and edged and mulched and weeded, so nicely presented. Yeah.
When you're talking about paint, and I guess we've all seen the renovator shells and some of the crazy wallpapers, and I'm kind of going, if I was renovating my home for sale, I might keep it a little bit neutral. Seems to be
Neutral colours. Try and avoid doing way out feature walls, because look at your colour here, and that was big in the 90s, sort of that colour.
It won't be there when the film editing is done.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's a green screen he's got behind him. But of course you can't see it.
Sorry.
No.
So avoid doing anything that might upset a buyer. So keep it as neutral as possible. The first house I bought with my wife, we walked in and it was pink and grey, and it was like Ken and Barbie's house. And there was two beautiful people, lovely blonde-haired wife and a husband, two little kids and a little white dog. Everything was like Ken and Barbie's house, we used to call it. My wife walked in and walked out. She said, "I can't buy that house." Okay. So, because I sort of understand real estate, and I said, forget about the colours. Okay, forget about this. So they had literally pink palmets, pink walls, pink and smoky grey carpets. Yeah. So with that, if they had have painted and made it a little bit more neutral, then they would have got a lot more competition for buyers. So the other thing with this is a lot of people say take away all your personal items and personal photos.
I've heard that.
Yeah, I don't agree with it, because if you're selling a family home and it looks like a family home, people can, and this is a part of my job as well, they can envisage their family there and their family photos up on the wall.
Yeah.
But what I do tell people, I sold a house that was, it was a very gothic theme. And there were skulls and athamas and knives and all this sort of stuff through the whole house. So I said, we need to take that out. Now, the same would be said if someone had religious crosses and crucifixes and Jesus, all that through the house as well. So you minimise it as much as possible. Now, this particular house, he'd been on the market for 2 years with another agent.
Wow.
His other agent didn't have the confidence to actually ask him to do this.
Right.
Now, we took all these elements out and we sold the house in 2 weeks, after it had been on the market for a long time. Now, the buyers had a much more pleasant feeling walking through, and they weren't put off by the styling of the house.
And so when you go, when your agent comes in, you really do want an agent that's got the confidence to challenge some of the things. They may not be what you want to hear, but at the end of the game, you want to sell your house, and you want the right kind of person who's going to say, look, to sell it, we just need to neutralise it a little bit.
Yeah, and also, it is someone's house, and I'll offer my advice, and some people will take that advice, and sometimes they won't, but I still won't stop you selling the house. Yeah. It can just add extra challenges to it, and every time you do something that alienates a buyer, they could be the one that would have paid the best price. So,
one thing I did see that someone had done, and they'd actually, I think they were planning on doing it anyway, but just decided they were going to sell them. They got like the upstairs, it was a single-story dwelling, and they got the drawings done and got planning approval, and they had it all done, all costed, and they went, we could do it and try and sell the house, and maybe, as you said, get more money, but then sometimes that doesn't quite work out.
No.
And their agent was a bit like you and went, whoa, hold on. Why don't we just put the plans on the table? Why don't we let the buyers make a choice? And now they've got more options. But if you do it, I don't. And he was quite honest. He said, I don't think you'll recoup the benefit.
Yeah, and very rarely do you do that. Is where you get the benefit of it. I sold a house in Padbury that was a lovely A-frame house with a double garage, and it was my house, and I had plans to build across the top of the garage, and you could actually see the ocean from there, so you could watch the sunset. So I sold that picture.
Yes.
And so the guy was going, oh yeah, that's what I'm going to do. 15 years later, he still hasn't done it. Okay. But it was there in the dream and possible.
Yeah.
So it's about creating that picture for someone who could do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
We'll take a break and we'll come back with more with Keith English from Keith English and Associates on getting your house and getting the right agent to sell it for you, and some of the tips and tricks, the inside knowledge for how you can get the best possible conditions, I suppose, not just the price, but the conditions you want it sold under.
Definitely.
We'll be right back.